Have you ever wondered what's really going on behind an avoidant's calm and distant exterior? Do they actually feel anything? And more importantly, what are they afraid of? Well, in this video, we're going to dive deep into the biggest fears avoidants have in relationships. These fears are what cause them to shut down, pull away, or even suddenly lose attraction. So, if you are dating an avoidant or you are an avoidant yourself, understanding these fears is key to navigating relationships without constant frustration. My name is Luna A. May, and I'm a life and attachment style coach and the author of books on attachment styles. What attachment style are you, and understanding and overcoming an anxious attachment? So let's get started with the fears. Fear number one is the fear of being seen as a shameful or defective. So avoidants often appear self-sufficient, but deep down, many of them struggle with internalized shame. And this comes from childhood emotional neglect. If a child's emotional needs weren't met, they don't think, oh, my parents were emotionally unavailable. Instead, they think there must be something wrong with me. So, as a result, as adults, this fear shows in relationships. Even small criticism can feel like a personal attack, not on their behavior, but on their identity. So, if an avoidant shuts down after we express a concern, they're likely feeling defective rather than hearing your feedback. So, what you can do, instead of saying, you never spend time with me, try saying, I'd love to spend some quality time together this weekend. What do you think? Remember that the way you frame your words makes a huge difference for an avoidant. The second fear is the fear of seeming weak. So, avoidants hate feeling vulnerable. Somewhere along the way, they learned that expressing emotions equals weakness. But we all know that in reality, being open and honest takes a huge amount of strength. This is why avoidants often keep their feelings bottled up. They struggle to express affection, ask for support, or admit when they are hurting. So, what you can do in this situation is give them space to express themselves at their own pace. Instead of pushing for deep emotional conversations, encourage small moments of vulnerability, like asking for their opinion rather than demanding emotional expression. Fear number three is fear of emotional chaos. So, avoidants crave stability and harmony in their relationships. And while they can tolerate some ups and downs at first, over time, too much conflict makes them feel emotionally unsafe. And this can trigger withdrawal and distancing. If they sense that the relationship is filled with arguments, emotional unpredictability, or high drama, they start associating the relationship with stress and they start pulling away. So, what you can do is keep communication calm and structured. And in case issues arise, approach them from a solution oriented mindset rather than pure emotion. Fear number four is fear of feeling trapped. This is a huge one. Avoidants fear losing their independence and feeling trapped in relationships. So, this usually stems from childhood experiences where they felt powerless in meeting their emotional needs. So, as adults, any situation that makes them feel like they can't escape triggers their flight response. So, what you can do is avoid coming across as demanding or pressuring them into deeper commitment. Instead, allow them to choose closeness at their own pace. The more freedom they feel, the more likely they are to stay connected. Next fear is fear of not being good enough. Avoidants doubt their ability to be good partners. They often feel like they don't know how relationships are supposed to work, or that they will never be able to meet their partner's expectations. And because they never saw healthy emotional connections growing up, relationships feel overwhelming. When they start feeling like they're failing, their instinct is to retreat rather than fix it. So, what you can do is focus on positive reinforcement. So, instead of saying you never express your feelings, try saying, I really appreciate when you open up to me. It means a lot. Even small acknowledgments like that can help build their confidence in relationships. The next fear is fear of being misunderstood. Avoidants often feel like no one really understands them. And ironically, this is because they don't fully understand themselves, since they are so disconnected from their emotions. It's hard for them to explain what they are really feeling or what do they need. And this creates a cycle of frustration. They withdraw, and then their partner pushes for clarity, and they withdraw even more. So, what to do? Ask curious, open ended questions instead of making assumptions. So, instead of saying, "Why are you shutting me out?" Try saying, "I notice you've been quiet lately. Is there anything on your mind?" Giving them space to process rather than demanding immediate emotional responses helps them feel safer opening up. So, how to navigate these fears? If you are dealing with an avoidant or you are an avoidant yourself, uh, you can use positive framing. So, instead of pointing out what's wrong, focus on what you want to create together. Another advice is to give space for emotional expression. Avoidants often open up at their own pace. So don't force it, it will come. And let them feel in control of their emotional journey. Encourage them without pressure. Avoidant attachment isn't about not caring, it's about fear. And the more we understand those fears, the better we can navigate relationships with less frustration and more connection.